I feel like it went really well. I thought our players were very focused, avoided distractions, and I thought our coaches did a good job as well. So we still have a lot of work to do, but we've made a lot of strides.
Obviously, the big early story was Silas Redd coming into this team. And you've talked a lot about how Silas assimilated easily. Talk about the leaders on this team, though, particularly Curtis McNeil, that really unselfishly welcomed him to the whole offense.
I think it speaks volumes of our players, especially at that position group. As hard as you work to get playing time, and all of a sudden here comes somebody new 4 days before camp starts. So I thought especially Curtis and DJ Morgan, they did a great job of accepting them.
Both you and Matt have talked openly about how he's ready for the NFL. So how were you able to keep his attention and try and keep him engaged as you bring up the younger players and sort of teach them the fundamentals of this offense?
Yeah, I don't think it was that difficult. Matt's such a great competitor, and his approach to the game is as good as you can get. So it really wasn't an issue, and he did a great job helping those young guys as well.
Biggest loss in the offense in the offseason was Matt Khalil, top offensive tackle in the draft. Is Andre Walker ready for that spotlight to fill those shoes?
Well, we'll see. He better be. So we're going to find out here very soon. I don't think he can fill those shoes right now, just like Matt was not Matt when he was a sophomore. So, we're going to have to make sure that we're doing the things he can do best and continue to get better as the year goes on.
You've talked about how defensive line is kind of a worry. In sort of an informal poll, a lot of the media listed Wes Horton and George Uko as two of the most valuable players in this team. Do you agree with that, given the depth?
Well, we do have a lot of issues there, and that was the number one concern coming into camp after we got the running back situation helped out with Silas. So there's going to be a lot of guys that have no experience playing on our defensive line, and so the only way you can get game experience is the game, so we'll see.
Assuming they're healthy, I assume you're happy with the starting linebackers. That second level, though, has almost no experience. How were you able to develop them during camp, and what's your comfort level with most of those guys?
Well, we played those guys a lot. We're very excited about the three freshmen that are now sophomores, returning starters. But once again, we like to rotate guys in and get some plays out of those young guys.
When you look at special teams, Cal Negretti was announced is now on scholarship. A special guy was actually honored at Salute to Troy, being a great all-around student athlete.
Yeah, Cal is a great student athlete here and has done a great job coming into the program and never asked for a scholarship. Did a great job punting last year, pinning the guys deep, and really has worked so hard. So it's one of those really neat situations where where we were fortunate to be able to do that, as we've done here in the past, reward walk-on players that actually have outperformed scholarship players.
Looking towards Hawaii, obviously the head coach of Hawaii is Norm Chow. Kind of an old storyline. You've now seen him 3 times in your 3 years, but in all different uniforms. So I'm sure you're used to facing Coach Chow now. What can you expect, obviously, from a Norm Chow coach team?
Well, we know what he's going to do, we think, on offense, because like you said, we've played him so many times. My dad's played him at Tampa. We played him at the Raiders, and we played him at Tennessee, and then we played him at 2 different programs here in UCLA and Utah. So kind of crazy how many times we've played him. So they're going to be very well coached. They're going to be very disciplined, and I think he's going to do a great job.
Anticipate a change now from him being always an offensive coordinator to now being the head coach. Do you almost anticipate sort of a no-holds-barred? Is there anything else, more tricks in the you think will come out now that he has no one else to answer to?
Well, I think what we don't know is how much is he doing the offense, and so when you become a head coach, you got to make that decision. Is he really running the offense, from A to Z, or is he just giving some input? So we really won't know.
Orange County kid at quarterback, Hawaii's announced their starter, Sean Schroeder. What do you know about him, and who stands out in the rest of their offense?
Yeah, not very much. We don't know very much because he hadn't played. We know that obviously where he came from, and he went to Duke, and so this will be about us in this game. Most openers are about making sure you're playing really well and not worried so much about the opponent or their personnel, and really focused on ourselves.
If you can count on one thing, they always seem to have an intensity about them. It's sort of a intensity as part of that program. Curtis McNeil talked about that too. Do you anticipate at all it being the home opener and the sellout that you'll have any issues matching intensity, or are you almost worried about the other direction, guys being too hyped?
Yeah, you do. You do worry the other way. I don't think that'll be an issue because of all the preseason hype, as you mentioned, and then sold-out stadium. There's going to be plenty of energy. national broadcast game. So if anything, we need to make sure we're composed. We'll have plenty of energy.
Been the underdog the last 2 years. Now you have a target on your back. Preseason number 1 AP poll, Heisman frontrunner quarterback. Use your messaging at all to the team to help them deal with that?
No, because the reason we got here was great preparation. It wasn't about any other stuff. And so we've continued that way. There's no reason to change something now. Continue to do things exactly the same way that got you to this point.